Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Very exciting to see all of you here today. My name is Noel Fine. I'm a cardiologist in Calgary, and I'm the director of the Canadian Amyloid Society. And I'm going to kick us off this morning on this very exciting event, Canadian Amyloidosis Summit 2025. So let's see if this works. Oh, okay, it does work. Yeah, let me move over here. Oh, there's a picture of me. Okay, so you know I'm not an imposter or faking it. I'll stand over here if that's okay. Okay. Okay, so to kick us off, I thought I would kind of do a little bit of a summary, I guess, or an overview of where we are and where we've come from and hopefully where we're going. And I think any kind of discussion about amyloidosis and our amyloidosis community, I have a screen here, really I think focuses on two things. One is just the incredible progress and advancements that have occurred over the last few years, several years, in fact, and we've made amazing advancements in treatment and care, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But also just the strength of our community and just the people who are involved at all levels, including the patients, the caregivers, of course, the healthcare providers, the drug development folks. Right on through. It's just been an amazing journey with an amazing group of people. And of course, now since we're talking about people, I thought I would just kind of, show my support. And it can't really see it, but it's a blue on blue, yeah. So we knew that last night they would lose just to win in dramatic fashion tonight, right, in Game 7. So that's the way to go. So I'll leave this on for a few minutes or so until I get hot. But yeah, no, we have an amazing group of people, tight-knit community, very close, and that's how we're getting stronger. But there's more work to do, of course, right? We still have patients who are suffering with amyloidosis, dying with amyloidosis. And despite all of the great progress we've made, there's a lot of work to do, and that means more work, more research, more development, and of course, a stronger, growing community, which is what we have here in Canada, which is amazing to see. Okay, so I'll take this off if that's okay. But when talking about amyloidosis, I kind of was reflecting on an editorial article that I wrote 5 years ago with my colleague and friend Margot Davis, who's a cardiologist in Vancouver, who couldn't make it this weekend, and Rodney Falk, who's like a cardiologist who's like the godfather of amyloidosis. And we titled it, "We've Come So Far, It's Only the Beginning." And I kind of look back on that because I wrote it 5 years ago, and I'm kind of proud of that article, actually, because it was kind of quite prophetic. But it's just as true today as when we wrote it 5 years ago. Is that we've come amazingly far, but we're still, I feel like we're only at the beginning. There's still so much going on, so much research, so much development, that it's hard to know when the beginning ends, but I still feel like we're there. And so for this address or this kind of presentation, I was trying to contextualize that or think of an analogy or a reference that would summarize that and kind of think, okay, well, let's kind of go back 5 years and see where we've come from and in comparison to today. And I couldn't really think of anything good. It was bothering me. I was staying up late one night and watching bad cable TV, and a movie came on. And suddenly it occurred to me what we need to do today. We need to go on an amyloidosis hot tub time machine. Right? Does it seem obvious, right, in hindsight? And just for the record, the second guy is not me, okay? It's not. People come up to me, I saw you in that silly movie. I said, no, I have a day job. That was a different bald guy. Okay, enough of that. So let's kind of do that. Let's kind of summarize where we've come from and where we are today in only 5 years' time. So before we had challenges with diagnosis. We still have challenges today, but we had way too many patients where they had symptoms for months, if not years. They had multiple specialists. The diagnosis would get missed and delayed. Patients would get sicker and sicker until finally someone would think of amyloidosis and the patient would get the correct diagnosis. And then today, we have multiple tools that we use effectively now. We have imaging tools, we have nerve assessment, and this is kind of specific for ATTR, but of course we have similar advancements on the AL side, genetic testing, and we know this from research that we're diagnosing patients at an earlier stage of disease. This has been proven that we're doing this now. What about treatment? So, of course, this is the transthyretin amyloidosis pathophysiology cascade, whereby TTR is made in the liver as a 4-leaf clover-shaped tetrameric protein, transport protein, and of course the key step is that it dissociates into these fragments that then misfold and then get stuck together as these aggregates and fibrils that get stuck in lots of tissues, but mostly the heart and the nerves. Okay? We'll talk a lot about this, of course, over the course of the day. We used to only have liver transplant, which was available for a select few patients, if your center did it at all, for hereditary neuropathy. And of course, symptom control was the key part of therapy, right? But now look at all the things we have. We've got these, not only do we have multiple classes of drugs, but we have multiple drugs within each class. So we, of course, as you know, we already have approved stabilizer. We may have another approved stabilizer coming for cardiomyopathy. We have gene silencers, second generation gene silencers already approved for polyneuropathy and hopefully soon for cardiomyopathy. And then, of course, CRISPR, it looks like that's on hold for a little bit. We'll see where that goes, but that's very exciting. And depleters, which are kind of a whole new class of drug, right, that can remove amyloidosis from the tissues for both ATTR and, of course, for AL as well. So that's very exciting. And not to be outdone, we have just as much innovation and going on the AL light chain amyloidosis side. 5 years ago, Cyborg-D really kind of emerged as the mainstay of treatment that improved outcomes in patients with light chain amyloidosis, and daratumumab was a game changer, really, just a huge advancement and a tremendous drug for treatment of light chain amyloidosis, and we'll talk more about that today as well. What about guidelines? So 5 years ago, there was barely anything available with respect to guidelines, and today we're exploding with guidelines. It seems like guidelines are coming out of every society and country and region all the time. We're very proud that we have Canadian-specific guidelines. I think it's time for an upgrade on some of those now that 5 years has passed. But there's lots of direction for clinicians who are treating amyloidosis now. Okay, awareness and advocacy. So our voice is growing to spread the word and advocate for our patients at different levels with different stakeholders. Now, of course, we have Transthyretin Amyloidosis Canada, right, which is just a tremendous organization that has grown and supported so many patients. There's the Canadian Amyloidosis Support Network, and then there's a host of other organizations around the world that I've listed there on the left side to kind of support us and collaborate and build the strength of our community. But as I mentioned, there's still a ways to go, right? We still have lots of work to do. There's lots of things that we don't understand yet, and lots of knowledge to be gained. So it wouldn't be an amyloidosis event if I didn't do a plug for our registry, of course, but we have the Canadian Registry for Amyloidosis Research, which has been growing over the last few years. Didn't really exist 5 years ago, and now we're very proud to say that we're across Canada. We have a number of sites with even more in various stages of joining, and the registry is growing. Every patient with amyloidosis can register themselves, okay? So we have our patient-reported outcomes side there on the left. and we have our clinic side for participating clinics. So we're gaining lots of research and knowledge, but any patient can register themselves at our registry website, amyloidregistry.ca. And we're happy to say that we have over 800 patients consented, and so that's a fantastic number. We think it's still only the tip of the iceberg, mind you, but we're very happy that we've got this many patients in our registry so far. There is a nuclear medicine registry as well that's led by Rob Miller out of Calgary. That's also doing fantastic work to improve our understanding and how we use pyrophosphate scan and nuclear cardiology to better diagnose our patients, and that's been very productive as well. And I always like to say when I'm talking about amyloidosis that to care for an amyloidosis patient takes a village, right? It's not just a cardiologist or a neurologist or a hematologist. There's lots of different problems that these patients develop, and they need support from multiple disciplines and multiple specialties throughout various stages of their journey. But the same thing is true for moving the field forward, right? It's not just kind of one drug development company or one center. It takes a village of people to really advance care and to make life better for our patients. And I'm very happy to say that we're building that village. The Canadian Amyloidosis Society, I think, is a part of that. It was launched last year. It's a medical professional organization dedicated to advancing awareness and understanding and overall improving care for patients with amyloidosis across Canada. It launched last year, a year ago, at the summit, and it's been a busy year. And we have, for those of you who are members, we have our annual general meeting at 4:30 today, so I hope you stick around. And if you're not a member, but you're a healthcare professional, please join. Registration is free, and we need as many people as we can get. And very exciting, we already have an affiliate, a very active affiliate organization called the Canadian Amyloidosis Nursing Network, or CAN, and that's done a lot of great work as well. So we've launched our website in the last month, and this is where you can register, amyloid.ca, so pretty easy to remember. Please check us out when you have a few minutes, and let us know what you think. This is kind of a community organization, we think. It's growing quickly, but it's still a tight-knit group of people, and we want to know how we can serve our healthcare provider community better. And of course, this organization, this meeting, we didn't have this 5 years ago, right? This has been growing, this summit. It's been evolving, right? Now we have separate streams for physicians and healthcare providers and nurses, and a separate stream for patients and caregivers. And I think this is really the flagship event of amyloidosis in Canada. And so there's been tremendous work to put this on. So this is an exciting development that we never had 5 years ago either. And so I like to think of amyloidosis, of course, as an iceberg, right? You can, in many different ways, when we see our patients, we can kind of see kind of one set of symptoms, but there's a lot going on underneath the surface, and it takes a long time to really understand each individual patient, because they're all very individualized and specific and have different aspects, but also for the disease in general. There's lots of people walking around out there with amyloidosis that we still haven't diagnosed yet. So I still feel like we're just the tip of the iceberg, and with our knowledge as well and our understanding of this condition. But we have a great community, as I've mentioned now several times, right? And I think our goal is to bring all those patients and bring all those people together and to bring us up into the sunshine above the surface. And I think we're getting there. Like I say, we've got a lot of work to do, but I think it's happening, and it's been just a remarkable journey. So, yeah, I think I want to thank everybody here, and you're part of this community. You're the critical part of this community. Just by being here, and showing your support for amyloidosis and for this event and the organizations. I want to thank our sponsors. They've done tremendous work here, and we wouldn't have this event without them. There's a lot of things that we wouldn't have without them. So I want to just kind of name them and make sure I don't leave anyone out. But it's not just kind of the incredible drugs that we have from them, but also just the commitment to advancing the field, to collaborating and working with clinicians and patients to improve it. So I want to thank Alnylam, Pfizer, BridgeBio, AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk, and Janssen for supporting this event and for the great work, of course, that they do for the field. And I want to, of course, thank Anne Marie and Merv for their tireless work and their just force of nature work. They're next door, so they can't hear me thank them, but just the incredible effort that they've done to support patients across Canada. And then lastly, I want to thank Alon and Alon Barmapov from PRISM, who has supported Transthyretin Amyloidosis Canada and just been a great part of our community in helping support that organization, and just a tremendous amount of work to host this event today. So with that, I will stop. Oops, yeah.